Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're gonna do another one in the series of opening up. And I watched my mother die. How did that have an effect on me? It's a heavy subject, I know, but I actually want to talk about it. And for all the people out there that are stuck somewhere together with their dying loved ones, that feel like they can't do anything, and they have a mix of different kinds of feelings and emotions, and they think, you know, half of these emotions are right and they shouldn't be feeling these things. I will tell you how I felt, and hopefully maybe that gives you some comfort. So my mom was diagnosed with cancer. I think it was June 2011, if I'm correct. At the beginning, they didn't even want to give us a diagnosis. Basically, they were saying that she has a tumor, which, you know, we thought, okay, if she has a tumor, you know, maybe they will be able to extract it, and, you know, hopefully everything is gonna be alright after that. A few weeks after, they finally, you know, she wanted to have an operation, in which they kind of open her up, and they realize that this tumor is just a part of the bigger picture, which was, of course, cancer. So officially my mom never got any kind of proper diagnosis. They speculated that it was the ovarian cancer, which I think it was in the end. I think they agreed on that. Basically what they did is the doctor told her that she's gonna die and that she probably has around 6 months to live. After they sent her home, after that operation, which wasn't even an operation, it was just basically cutting her up and then sewing her back after they saw what's inside of her. They sent her home, a woman that watched one of the patients jump through the window, by the way, from the same like part of the hospital where she was. Obviously for people that are, you know, then there's no hope for them. And they sent her home. My dad couldn't cope with the situation. He was scared himself, you know, he was running away. I have a brother, but he moved from the house, so he wasn't there. I just started going to the university. I just passed the exams and finally got signed up in the music university. It was my long-awaited dream, and only a week after I found out that I am in, you know, I got the news that my mom is dying. She got home severely depressed, to the point where she just wanted to lie down in the bed and die, and I didn't let her. I honestly thought that she can't survive, and I had no intention of giving up on her. And, you know, I wanted her to try some alternative kind of therapy, you know. If we could change her diet together, if we could... I contacted a lot of private clinics, but at that point I didn't have any money. I didn't have a job. We were living in Croatia. And I still regret the part where I couldn't financially support her. And now when I do have money, she's gone. But anyways, I got a lot of recipes, you know, for juices and stuff which she didn't want to drink. She didn't want to change anything in her life. So 6 months passed, but she was actually feeling better. She went through chemotherapies. Although they knew that none of these things will help her out, basically what they were trying to do is to get her life to be a bit longer, even though, you know, they would cut the quality of that precise life. There were scary things happening. Like one day she started bleeding from her nose to the point where the bleeding wouldn't stop. It was blood everywhere. It was like a nightmare. I called the ambulance, but then it was faster for me to put her in a car and get her to the ambulance. My dad was freaking out beside me. Couldn't rely on him. He was like a little child. And I got her to the hospital, and they barely stopped the bleeding because, you know, they accidentally gave her more chemotherapy than they were supposed to. I still can't see blood. I literally, from then, I still can't see blood. I was fine with blood before. Like now, when someone, you know, is taking my blood or whatever, I faint. It was the scariest day of my life up to that point. But the scariest days were coming in. After those chemotherapies, they said that her condition actually got better. But in a way I could see through the lines they said, because I was there on every fucking exam with her, they were surprised that she's still alive. They were surprised that she was still alive. So they were like, okay, she's still alive, what can we do for her? So apparently in the capital of Croatia, in Zagreb, there was this new kind of therapy for ovarian cancer, where they pretty much cut you open and they pour the chemotherapy directly into your internal organs, okay? So we took her to the capital. Again, sleepless night, sleepless day, waiting for her to wake up from the operation. And when they sent her back, the things went downhill very fast. She started vomiting all the time. Whatever she had, any food she had, she would just puke it out, and then she started vomiting blood. Took her to doctor again, all by myself, and they took her in, and basically like they tried to do some other chemotherapy like with her again. I mean, what the fuck. The size of the tumor in her stomach was to the point where you could touch it from outside, and it was only getting bigger from all the chemotherapies, and they sent her home to die then, again, this time for real. So I came to the hospital to pack up my mom's things. She asked me, and she'll ask me like the hardest thing that she ever asked me in my life. It was, how long do I have to live? How do you even answer that question? How do you even fucking answer that question? I just told her, Mom, don't worry. We'll live each day to the fullest, as much as we can. And I packed up her things, got her in the car. Don't remember half of these things, guys, to be honest with you. Don't remember. It's like I have this big hole in my memory where, you know, it's like you can't handle the pain. I was so angry at her because she didn't want to change anything in her life. I thought maybe, you know, she would be fighting more on the alternative side. God knows even if that would help. Like, at this point, she really wanted to live. She spent most of her life not living. She had a lousy life and lousy marriage. But apparently, I don't know, I guess she was happy sometimes. Maybe that was the best that she could do. So when they sent her home, she lived for another, I don't know, it was a month maybe, something. She got worse day by day, up to the point where she just had to take the morphine, and you couldn't really even talk with her anymore. I would be sitting beside her bed waiting for the moment of sanity to talk with my mother. She was leaving, you know. It was the end. You feel all kinds of emotions at this point. I was angry. I was angry because I couldn't accept that she's gonna be gone soon. In a way, I wanted her to die in the last weeks because I couldn't handle the amount of pain I was feeling every time when I would see her. Pain, fear, anger, everything mixed up together. Like, maybe I wanted her to fight more because of me, you know, maybe I was being selfish. Maybe I wanted her to live longer for me because I needed her. I still need her so much. Like, who is gonna teach me how to be a mother to my child? Who's gonna teach me how to be a woman? You know, she took off before, you know, she managed to teach me all those things. On the last day of her life, it was my father's birthday. He came home from the college, from the university, where I just passed an exam. And she was lying in the bed and her feet became black. And we called the ambulance and they said, just be beside her because this is it. Just sitting beside her. I was holding her hand, checking her pulse, and I felt the last heartbeat of my mother. The last one. I don't know how many of you are spiritual or have these tendencies, but in the moment of her death, I've seen this beautiful light coming out of my mom. It was magnificent. It was beautiful. But it was also the saddest and the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, the body which raised me, nurtured me, nursed me, gave me the nicest memories, you know, in my childhood. It's gone. It was brought up by the morgue people out of the house like it was nothing. And this was, I don't know, most important body, most important soul, most important person in my life. I wanted to follow her for a long time, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how other people are, but I felt like there's nothing for me left here. Even though I had a person I loved, I had other people, but like, I felt like there's nothing left here for me. And loads of the times, I don't know why, maybe because the connection between us two was so strong, I feel like I would just love to follow her and be with her once again. And they say the sorrow and sadness stops, but it does, but I'm never gonna be the same person again. I'm never gonna be the same person. I don't know if I'm ever gonna be able to let this go. And, you know, I feel like part of me is with her somewhere. And that ever since she died, a part of me just disappeared and went with her. and it's like I'm never gonna be complete again. It's a weird feeling, and I don't cope with that good anymore. Like, all the people I really love on this planet, I am so anxious about the day they will die that I am sometimes finding it hard to really connect to them while they're alive, because I don't want to go through the same thing again, ever. And I don't know whether I would survive that once more. I know it's not fair. It's, in a way as well, I shouldn't be thinking about people I love or my animals. I am anxious about the day my cat is gonna die, because I don't want to go through that again. And she's family as well. I don't know, I connect with people, animals, like, so deeply that I just can't let them go then. Losing someone is just something that cuts you up so badly that just sometimes I'm shocked that I survived this. Like, I honestly am shocked. I don't know how I managed, after all that, to get out of the bed and do things, how I managed to stay alive. And for 3 years I was depressed, severely depressed, but there was no time for me. Like, people didn't give me time. You know, the world goes on. Everybody expects you 4 or 5 months after to... I had people saying to me that I need to let it go. People that had their mothers alive still. And it was pissing me off. Like, what would you know about this kind of loss? And why don't I have the privilege to grieve as long as I want to? It's my loss. And, like, for all of you out there going through the same or similar things, like, people don't know how to deal with death and fear, because we're so afraid of death that when it happens around us or to someone, we treat them people like there's something wrong with them. Like, why did you get over it? Like, even though it was like 3 weeks ago. I remember at my university, like, my teacher said, okay, like, this was a few months ago, now you need to get your shit together and do this, because, you know, you still have a life to live. And of course you do. Like, you know that. You know that, you know, you're alive and that person is dead, and that you need to carry on with your life. But it's not that easy. It's still not easy. I still feel like there is a big hole in my heart that is never gonna heal, and nobody can take the place inside it. Like, this was my mom's place, and it's, you know, she's gone, and nobody can fill up that place, because nobody else is my mom. Yeah. You have the right to grieve and to feel whatever. Remember, even if you're angry, it's just because there's so much pain that you can't cope. And you shouldn't feel bad about it. Anyways, guys, this was my personal story about my mom. And I hope things like this never happen to you. All of you. I wish things like this don't happen at all. It is what it is. I love you all, and if you do like this and other things on my channel, please do subscribe and like this video. And yeah, be seeing you soon.